of the Before the Kickoff podcast. I am James Christopher. I'm joined by my co-host Chase Oliver. What is going on, Chase?
Nothing much, really, James. Just excited because it's almost NFL draft season, and I can't wait. And also the off season too.
Yeah, the off season. Finally, we can start getting into all of that. We have our mock drafts posted up on the website now, so I suggest going on over there, checking that out. Link will be in the description box to that. Early mock draft. Combine will be coming up in a couple of weeks. We'll have a mock draft after the Combine. We will also have a mock draft after the first week of free agency, after March, before, and then a couple before the actual draft. So make sure to go to Before the Kickoff and keep checking that. Make sure to also subscribe to this YouTube channel, as we will be having mock draft podcasts and all of that. So, but for this episode, we're going to go into some of the topics already in the off season already. The free agency begins March 12th, but before that, we have to know if some teams are going to cut their players or some teams are going to re-sign their players. And one team has decided to re-sign its player. Philadelphia Eagles have decided to re-sign Michael Vick to a one-year extension worth about $10 million. He was scheduled to make $15 million this year. They restructured the deal. It is now 1 year, $10 million. If it works, they will keep Michael Vick, probably try to re-sign him long term. If it doesn't work, he will be done in Philly for the rest of his career. Chase, thoughts on this extension?
I think it's a good move for the Philadelphia Eagles. You know, they don't know what their quarterback situation is going to bring, and it's always nice just to have a veteran, even though the veteran skills have gone down in the past couple of years. Michael Vick is no longer the same Michael Vick in the Atlanta days. So it's nice just to have Michael Vick there to help the young quarterback or help bring in, if I heard they wanted to bring in Dennis Dixon, help Dennis Dixon out if they want to bring him in. You know, it just really does help out, you know, a team having a nice young quarterback there, old quarterback there to help the young guys out. So really, I like this move. I don't think it's a ultimate terrible move. It's not the smartest decision because that does eat up some cap space, especially $10 million for a 1 year contract. That's still a lot of money. So money-wise, yeah, it's a dumb move. But when it comes down just to have the experience, I think it's a good move.
Well, I know Philadelphia Eagles fans are not going to be happy with what I'm about to say, but when Chip Kelly came to the NFL, came to coach the Philadelphia Eagles, and wants to run his offense, I was always just wondering, and there's all this talk about getting rid of Michael Vick, I was always just sitting back wondering, who's better to run this than Michael Vick? I understand he did not have a good season last year, to say the least, but at the end of the day, who can run this offense better than Michael Vick? I think that he can really flourish in this offense, especially with the weapons that he has, Deshaun Jackson, Jeremy Maclin, tight end, Brett Selleck. I think that he can not only run this offense, but run it to really just greatness, to be honest. I expect a turnaround year for Michael Vick, a resurgence in his career with Chip Kelly now as the head coach. And I think maybe some of you may need to think about drafting him, not in the first round of your fantasy drafts, but actually whenever he's there and you're like, oh, I need a quarterback, why not Michael Vick if he does win the starting job? Because they are saying that it's going to be a competition for the starting job. But if he indeed wins the starting job, go ahead, you know, take a chance on Michael Vick, because I really do think that being in this offense will resurge Michael Vick's career. Any more thoughts on that?
No, that's pretty much it. I agree with you about Chip Kelly's offense, though, for sure. But pretty much I agree with most of the statements said.
And another thing, backup Nick Foles, who Michael Vick will be competing in, I don't think he can really run this off. It's not that he's completely immobile like Peyton Manning or anything, but I'm not sure if he'll completely flourish in this offense. But I don't think people give Nick Foles enough credit for his play last year. I do think Nick Foles played well, considering that he had to come in for an injured Michael Vick. He had to grasp the offense. It was his rookie year. He wasn't taken that high for a reason. I think he weathered the storm. He came in. He did a good job. And Nick Foles, if he can just sit back, maybe stay back on the bench, learn some more, I think some team may trade for him, like you're seeing with Colin Kaepernick or something. Maybe he'll start starting or something, or just something. Maybe a team will trade for him because I do think that Nick Foles has talent, and he'll one day will start for a team. Maybe not the Eagles, but he deserves a spot in the NFL. And I want to see what Nick Foles can do because from what I saw, I think Nick Foles weathered the storm and did a good job. Any thoughts on Nick Foles?
No, you pretty much hit the nail on the coffin. I don't think he's going to be the Eagles starter. I can see him being one of those guys that probably go to like a Cleveland or maybe a Arizona if they still have quarterback problems in the near future. I definitely see him moving on forward probably in the next couple of years to a different team and probably finding a little bit of success there. I don't really think he's going to be successful in the NFL level that much.
Yeah, but Chip Kelly making moves with taking grasp, and it's going to be very interesting to see where this leads for the Philadelphia Eagles, whose fans are very irate after a terrible 4-12 season. Chase, it's time for your College Minute of the Week.
All right, so the NFL draft season is continuing, and last week I said I was going to talk about DeMontre Moore, but I learned something new about a certain other outside linebacker, and that is named Jarvis Jones out of Georgia, so I'm going to talk about Jarvis Jones a little bit. So Jarvis Jones, I'm pretty sure most people did not know this, he used to play for the University of Southern California. Turned out Jarvis Jones suffered a back injury in a game against Oregon, the Oregon Ducks. The doctor told Jarvis Jones to retire. Jarvis Jones said, no, I am not retiring. And he decided to go play at the University of Georgia, where he became one of the best outside linebackers in college football in 2012. One thing about Jarvis Jones, though, is his draft stock is going down because a lot of people are hearing that at the Combine, Jarvis Jones is not going to put up big numbers. And a lot of people are hearing Jarvis Jones is not really a weightlifting guy. He doesn't work hard in the weight room because he has a scoliosis problem. And to me, it feels like Jarvis Jones may end up going down to as low as the 17th pick to Pittsburgh. I really feel the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to grab him there. And it's kind of a shame that a lot of teams are just looking at him as just like he's not working hard off the field, when on the field, the guy is a baller. The dude is a monster on the field. And it's kind of sad that his draft stock is going down. But other than that, great player, Jarvis Jones, University of Georgia. Go check him out. Next week will be DeMontre Moore from Texas A&M, and that's my College Football Minute.
Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, no, here comes the, oh, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, no, here comes the, oh, here comes the, y'all don't really want it.
Alright, it's time for our pulled over segment of the week. I am the Cobb Chases the perpetrator. Wow, perpetrator. Chase is the perpetrator. Chase, who are you this week?
I'm the number one draft pick, best of all time, JaMarcus Russell.
Oh, God, JaMarcus. So, reports, and they're not even reports because you claim them to be true, but I like to call them reports because I don't want to believe them to be true, but apparently, you want to come back. What the hell? You really want to make a comeback?
I really feel that I can prove a lot of things in the NFL. You know, I tried out for the Dolphins a couple years back. They said no on me. And look at the bust they have now at quarterback. Ryan Tannehill is not as good as me. I tried out for the Browns, and they didn't want me. You know, I just feel teams don't want to give me a chance because of my time in Oakland. But when you look at Oakland, Carson Palmer, a great quarterback, can't even do shit down there. So why not give me a chance, you know?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you why. It's because you socked yourself. And that's just part of the reasons of your stint in the NFL. But what happened? Let me get this straight. A couple years ago, you were 320 pounds. You are now roughly 308 pounds. So, congratulations, you lost 12 pounds. But why are you so fat?
football, it's stressful. Most of y'all don't know that, but it's stressful, this sport. And you can get really, really, really intense in the games and get really, really hyped up from all other stuff that, your teammates yelling at you, your coach yelling at you, that you just want to eat to relieve the pain. And also, it was like when I left the NFL, and by the way, I'm not bankrupt. I didn't get in trouble for cough syrup. That I don't live in a trailer. I don't know where people make these rumors up. I'm still wealthy. I still have money. And I just gained the weight. And now I have the passion to play again. And that's what you need to know, officer, is that I have passion. I ain't like all these other quarterbacks strapping on their chin straps on Sunday. I have passion, and I'm looking to show that passion.
Well, JaMarcus, I'm going to have to say that you're guilty, sir, of just being fat. Being fat, being just pathetic, okay? You're still pathetic. You're still the pathetic loser.
Just what?
You were. Don't interrupt me. I'm the officer over here. You're still the pathetic loser you were years ago. And you could try to make a comeback. The only team, and they're not even a team because they don't even deserve to be in the league. The only team, quote unquote, that will give you a chance is Cleveland. And that is not even a team in itself.
All right, well, you're going to see me come back. I'm going to post up numbers, and I'm going to take my team to the playoffs. So you're going to rush me all you want, but just say, I'm the best.
All right, we'll see about that. All right, so let's move on to Percy Harvin. Well, the Minnesota Vikings are reportedly looking into trading the wide receiver who spent most of the year with an injury. Didn't play that much, but nevertheless, we do know what he can do. Chase, should the Vikings trade Percy Harvin?
I feel like if the Vikings want to trade Percy Harvin, what they need to do is trade him if he's being a total problem in the locker room. If he's being a guy that just causing too much problems for them in the locker room, then yeah, you trade Percy Harvin. There's no question. Because there's a lot of teams who would take a wide... It's like, Percy Harvin's not a bad athlete. I mean, before this year, before he got injured, he was putting up MVP-type numbers, okay? He was putting up great numbers. He was a great special teamer, great all-around wide receiver. He's a great, great player. And there's a lot of teams who will give up big for the Vikings to get Percy Harvin. And I feel like, the Vikings, if they want to try to sucker in a top 10 team, in this year's NFL draft into giving up their draft pick for Percy Harvin, they probably could. Because Percy Harvin, I feel, is worth enough for a first-round pick, if not worth enough for a lot of second- and third-round picks in the near future for that team. I really feel that the Vikings really feel that they can find another Percy Harvin, which is really hard to find. If they can find another athlete on that level, then yeah, go right ahead, trade him. But other than that, I feel like it's a bad move because Percy Harvin kind of complements Adrian Peterson really well. And Percy Harvin is unlike a lot of different wide receivers in the NFL. He's very underrated. Like, he complements anyone that's next to him at that wide receiver position really well, and Adrian Peterson at running back because he can also run block pretty damn well. So it's like you're losing such a big complementary piece, a big weapon for Christian Ponder, who you're still trying to develop as the star quarterback of your team. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Yeah, you get stuff for the future, but you're losing someone that could guarantee you big-time wins.
The Vikings believe that they can get a first or second round pick or a package of picks to get Percy Harvin. And I don't think I do it. I understand that there are issues. Now, it depends on the severity of the issues. Like, if Percy Harvin just says, I will not play for Leslie Frazier, I refuse, that's it, then you have to trade him. But if it's really coming from Leslie Frazier that just saying, oh, I don't want to work with him all that, then you have to talk to Leslie Frazier because Percy Harvin is a special talent. Whether or not he can stay on the field or not, that's regardless. That's irrelevant to me. He is a huge talent in the league, and he fits perfectly with Christian Ponder's skill set. We all know Christian Ponder does not possess the arm strength of a Jay Cutler or Robert Griffin III or any of these guys. So he has to make up for that with screen passes and good accuracy, short to intermediate routes, and that's what Percy Harvin does best. Now, there are some guys in this draft that can do that, like a Tavon Austin, Cordero Patterson, but you can't just go all out on those guys and hope that they're going to be good, because we don't know ultimately if they're going to. We know that Percy Harvin will be good. He has been good for years now in the NFL. Now, if they do trade him, they get Pitts back, it's not the end of the world. Just me personally, if I am the GM, I don't personally do it, but if they do, they're going to be just fine. Anything more to add?
Yeah, I agree. He does fit Christian Ponder's skill set very well, like you said, because Percy Harvin used to play for Tim Tebow down in Florida. So, he was kind of playing with a quarterback that was limited to begin with. And Christian Ponder, it's not like he's limited right now. Like, he's going to grow, obviously, but it would help a lot to have a Percy Harvin there to help him to grow.
Yep, definitely. And the last thing we want to get to is the New York Giants releasing running back Ahmad Bradshaw. We're just going to go quick on this. I'm going to go first on this one. It does hurt, but at the end of the day, it's a salary cap issue. And he's a good talent. He still played very well to me throughout the season. He averaged about 4.6 yards per carry. And whenever you're doing that, you're doing a good job as a running back. And the Giants' offensive line isn't really that great. So when he hits the market, and, well, he already hit the market, Ahmad Bradshaw is going to go to a team and he's going to contribute. Hopefully not the New England Patriots, because they already have enough of firepower on offense. But he's going to probably want to go to contender. And that contender, once they get him, he's going to make a huge impact.
Yeah, I agree with Ahmad Bradshaw, because, see, the thing is, Ahmad Bradshaw, a lot of teams who are missing running backs, they're going to be looking at him. And this Ahmad Bradshaw cut is kind of like a Joseph Adai cut a couple years back, but the thing was, Bradshaw's still going pretty well, unlike Adai, who, just never got the ball rolling after he got cut. Ahmad Bradshaw's still a tough running back, still very good in the passing game, very good pass blocker. He's a good, system back that you can use for a certain team. So, in all honesty, I won't be surprised if he gets picked up by a Cardinals, maybe a San Diego who's looking for a backup running back just in case Ryan Matthews goes down, maybe just Saints because they're losing Chris Ivory. There's a lot of teams that will definitely look at Ahmad Bradshaw. And it's understandable why, because Andre Brown and David Wilson have just been running the ball mad for the Giants. And you got to look into the future for the Giants instead of trying to, pay Ahmad Bradshaw money that he doesn't deserve. Because you knew he was going to ask for some ridiculous contract, which they can't afford because Victor Cruz is way more important than Ahmad Bradshaw.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we have some extra time. Let's just have a casual little talk. Did you hear about that Jadeveon Clowney sitting out next year thing? That whole deal?
No. Jadeveon Clowney's sitting out?
Well, apparently, his advisors are telling him that he should just sit out next year because regardless, he'll be picked number 1, and it's better not to get injured or hurt his draft stock. And as a college writer, I know you haven't heard about this, but do you have any initial reactions about that?
Certain players sometimes do it, and I feel that, they are trying to protect Jadeveon Clowney because, football is a crazy sport. You don't know what could happen. And the thing is, look at Marcus Lattimore. I mean, that right there should say, I go to the same school as him. He was drafted high as a first-round running back, and he got injured. There could be, some scary things. And plus, he plays in the SEC. It's not like he's playing in the WAC or the Pac-12 or the Big East. It's like he's playing in a conference where most of these guys could probably potentially want to hurt him because he's a monster. So, in all honesty, I can understand the purpose of why he should sit out, because I don't think he's going to be drafted number 1, because I think the team that's going to be drafted number 1 is the team that needs a quarterback, but he's definitely still a top 5 pick. But I really feel that if he wanted to play, if he played the Senior Bowl and he still showed up for the Combines, yeah, good thing for him because he's still a great player. I mean, there's ways to train for football without actually having to play college football. Like, So, yeah, why not? If he wants to go, like, practice blocking, playing flag football or doing something else where he doesn't get injured, I can understand, yeah.
I'm already going to go on record. I'm saying that the Jacksonville Jaguars will be the worst team in the 2013 season because of one reason, Blaine Gabbert. Because they still have faith in that man. When you have faith in this man, that's ridiculous to me. So, and the Jaguars can't sack anybody. They were worse in the league this year. And they could, get Bjorn, Werner, and all that junk. But I could see them taking Jadeveon Clowney. I could see them taking that. And even if the first pick doesn't need a defensive end, they're probably going to trade because they know they can get a RG3 package for whatever team really needs him. But
yeah.
I'm not big on college football. But I don't like this. I really don't like this at all. I understand when players want to leave early, but just sitting out the entire year, that's playing it too safe. Sitting out a game or something, but sitting out an entire year, I think that's playing it too safe. And even if he were to get injured or whatever, all the teams have to do is go back, look at that Tostitos Bowl game where he killed the Michigan running back, and they will take him number one, whether he's injured, whether he sucks next year or whatever. They just have to look at that play and they have to say, wow, if we get him, he could be the next Reggie White. All right? So that's just it on that.
Also, for Jadeveon Clowney, it was kind of weird because he was talking about winning the Heisman. So it kind of like sits back something because I very well believe that he could have been the first true defensive player. I know Charles Woodson won it, but he was also a special teamer, so he gets some kind of bonus for being a special teamer. But Jadeveon Clowney would have been the true defensive player to win the Heisman. So I feel he had a good chance because the only other person standing in his way are like Johnny Football, Terry Bridgewater, the Louisville, Taj Boyd. Those are the only ones. DeAnthony Thomas. So he had a good chance to win it. Robert Woods, not Robert Woods. You guys know that beast, Marquise Lee. There we go.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for checking out the podcast. Leave a comment. If you have Skype, we're gonna get you in here. We're gonna have time to talk to you because there's not much going on right now. Free agency, draft. That's when we're gonna have more to talk about on this podcast. But right now, we're just trying to scurry for topics. So if you want to talk to us, get on Skype. Leave us a comment. We're gonna get you on here. We're gonna start a conversation with you. We're gonna get the conversation going. We are outgoing. We love all that. Make sure to check out the Twitter, Facebook, and BeforeTheKickoff.com. Links all in the description box for all of us here before the kickoff. We are out. Peace.